Hey guys, it's Liz. In January, I showed everybody in Junior Club how to make a simple wire wrap. We ran out of time, and I feel like maybe you guys want to try again, or for those of you who didn't get to attend, I'm going to do this little instructional video so you guys can try at home if you want. So this little cage you'll be able to stick any of your little tumbles in, or even small crystals, and you should be able to interchange them as long as the size is similar. So the first thing you're gonna need is some wire. 20 gauge works, 16 gauge works, but you want it to be somewhat stiff. You want it to be able to hold its shape. If it is too soft, if it is, as they call it, dead soft, as soon as you bend it, as soon as you put any pressure to it, it's gonna lose its shape and you're gonna lose your rock. So we're using this stuff today. I don't have a clue where I got this from. You can get wire from all kinds of craft stores. And you can also just play with the stuff that you already have at home till you can get a feel for it. You're also gonna need some pliers. You're gonna need wire cutters, obviously, and a pair of needle nose pliers. Mine are all jewelry pliers, so they look a little different. And if you have them, round nose pliers are very helpful. I also have these snazzy pliers for creating loops. These are not necessary. If you have one of these, they're nice, but they are not necessary. These other three will do just fine. Let's see if we can move that. So I've got this on a piece of paper so that you can see the contrast. So there's no set rule about how much wire you should use. So for something small, like these little guys, so you see we've got, maybe a little bigger than my fingernail. I'm gonna use probably about that. So that's what, maybe 6 inches? I'm horrible at determining length without a ruler or a tape measure. We're gonna use about this much. So, okay, that's an 8.5 by 11 paper. So that's maybe 7 inches. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna take our wire, we're gonna take our round pliers. If you don't have the round pliers, the regular needle nose pliers are okay. We're gonna make a loop at one end. That's it, just a regular old loop, nothing fancy. Now from there, we're going to begin to curl it around. I like to start it off with the pliers, just to make the loop a little bigger so that I can grab it. And then we're gonna continue to spiral it. See, we're just gonna make it bigger and bigger until we're about halfway. When we're about halfway down the wire, the length of the wire, we're gonna stop. And then we're gonna go the other way from the other side. So you can see I'm just turning it, spinning it around so it's a little spiral. And if you have a small rock or stone or crystal, you want your spiral to be fairly closed. If you have a larger rock, you're going to need, well, one, you're going to need more wire, but you're going to want your the space in between your wire to be much further apart so that you can get a bigger stone in there. So we've gone about halfway. So what we do next is we do the same thing on the other side. We flip it over so that we're going to have an S shape. So we're gonna wind the other way. Again, make another little loop. And start to spin the loop around. Of course, I'm doing this against my sweatshirt. You can't even see it. There we go. We spin the loop around, and we're going to just keep going until we get back down to the other loop. If one side ends up being bigger than the other side, that's okay. It's not a big deal, really not. Okay, so is it perfect? No. Is that okay? Absolutely. So you can fuss with it a bit if you want to try to make it a little more even, but it honestly doesn't really matter. Just don't overlap your wires. You see how nothing is overlapped? It might be a little wonky right here, but it is open all the way through. That's what you want. Now, what we're gonna do is bend it over. This is almost like a trash can lid. So it doesn't matter which side you bend over because we have a circle, a loop on each end. One of those ends is going to be just an end. The other end is going to connect to a small ring to put it on a necklace. So we're going to just fold it over just like you would. Let me see if I can do this. Just like you would with a trash can lid. So we take that and we're literally going to just fold it over right on top of itself so that now we have, it looks like a jumbled mess. I promise it's not, but it's all folded over on itself. Okay. Now what we're going to do is take your pliers, grab that inside loop, that original loop we did, and we're just going to pull out. We're going to take this from 2D to 3D. So we're going to grab that loop and just pull. So we're pulling our wire out. And we're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Grab the loop and be gentle when you're doing this. And we're going to pull everything out. And we have a little cage. Now we can adjust it. If we accidentally bent something too much, we can adjust it right here. And we're going to determine which side we want to be the top and which side the bottom. So figure out whichever end you want to be the top. I'm going to use this end. And we're going to bend. I'm going to use my needle nose pliers for this one, just a little easier. Our original loop we have here at the end, we're just going to bend it upright. This just makes it easier to hook the loop into. So this is what we have. Let's see if we can get a good picture of this. Hook it on my fingernail, maybe. So we have a little cage that is bendable. We don't want to bend it too much because then we'll lose the shape. But all we're going to do is bend it open a bit, right in the middle. Take one of your stones that you want to use, slip it inside, and bend it back closed. And voila, you have a nice little cage. And there they are. If you want to put this on a chain or a piece of hemp or a piece of leather or something like that. Use a jump ring, just a little piece of metal that's made into a ring. Open that up. There we go. And slide your cage right onto it. And then you can put your well, if I can find an end here, my goodness. You can put your new found pendant onto a necklace. And if you are not in the mood for blue-green today and you want something else, simply open it up a bit, gently pop that rock out, and stick something else in. Piece of petrified wood. And then push the pieces of the cage back to where you want them. As long as you have similar size stones, you should be able to interchange this fairly easily. And like I said, if you need a bigger stone, that is obviously not going to fit in this little cage. So we'd have to make a bigger one. So anything around this size should fit together. Be interchangeable, I mean. Anything around this size. Those two would probably be interchangeable. The only problem you might run into is this one is flat, this one is not. So you just kind of have to see how things work as you make them. So sometimes the flat ones, you need to flatten out the cage a little bit, squish it in the middle, and it'll pop out on the sides. In the end, it is just wire. It's not going to be perfect to begin with. Don't worry about it. You can always try again. It's fairly simple to do, but if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them for you. I'm happy to do another video. Yeah, let me know how it goes for you guys. I'd love to see what you guys create.